back at the desk, back on my bullshit, one could say. We've got the weekend coffee cup. I've had about a pot of coffee so far, and I am toast. I am really, really, really profoundly tired. So that's fun. That's cool. Hey Joey, how are you? How you doing? Yeah, today's weekend coffee cup is the Arc de Triomphe. So, and I've got the little reminder right on the inside. So in case I forgot, I could go, hey, what is my weekend cup? And I drink and I go, oh, it's right there. Coffee's not very hot. So that's unfortunate. Dodgers won the World Series, and I saw Marvelous 3, first New York City show in 22 years last night. Nice. Very, very, very good. Starting the day with coffee, pancakes, and deer sausage. No, deer sausage. Dearest sausage. Sorry. Well, that's yeah. All right. Starting it off. John checking in. Good morning to you. How are you? What did you have for breakfast? I had toast with butter and jam because I like to party. I have these samples, from this print company of all of these things from Mixam, Mixam. While other printers have time-limited offers, you can always order more for less with Mixam. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 flyer. Says so right here. What's it advertising? It's a sample. We got that. Here's a custom comic book sample. It's actually pretty good. You know, there was a time about 32 years ago, to get specific. I was working on a comic book that I was writing and drawing a comic book that, I never did anything with, but I thought I wanted to do that. I was wrong. Made myself an omelet with green peppers, red peppers, bacon, and American cheese. How about that? All right, get down with an omelet. I like omelets. I mean, why wouldn't I like an omelet? They're good. That's cool. I'm glad to have it. I'm glad to hear that. You had pizza. Did you go hot pizza? Did you go cold pizza? I'm just gonna go like this. Oof. I woke up like this. I'm looking real good. Hey, so I stream these out to the YouTube channel, and I'm wondering why we never get any views on them. Maybe this is why. This is what I'll do. Hey, I'm like 2008 Sully. Oh my God. Wait. 2008 Sully checking in. I didn't have hair like this in 2008, but right now I would kind of look like I'd be in 2008. Anyway, that was fun. I really do need to plan these things more in advance. Have some topics. I do need the Pat Sanger topic generator 2000. When I was doing the podcast a bajillion years ago, Pat, great friend, wonderful client, just delightful person in general, and that's really what you want in a person. If I'd be like, Pat, we need some topics, he'd have like 30,000 of them, and that was fun. Good morning, Tim. How are you? What did you have for breakfast? Michael, you need to read Traveling to Mars, perfect graphic novel for guitarists. I don't know if I need any more guitar-related stuff in my life, but noted. Keeping that in mind. Thank you, Michael. Ooh, Verona Tragedy, if that is your real name. Did I say this last time? I think it is your real name. I love that about you. I think Verona Tragedy. Um, oh, that would be kind of a good. Well, tragedy. That's as a last name. I think that's a good drag name. I've often said that my, you think of imaginary band names or real band names you think of, or album titles, or whatever. I think of drag names. I think Anaphylaxis would be a great drag name. Which countries have I been to? What was my okay? Good. What countries have I been to? Which was my favorite and why? So um, this is good. This is fun. Thank you, Verona Tragedy. Actually, you know what? Have you ever seen Toast of London? It was a Matt Berry show. Um, if any of you watch What We Do with the Shadows, if you like the Caslo character, the Laszlo character, uh, think Laszlo not as a vampire, but a terrible British actor. Um, and it's basically the same character. In Toast of London is great, but anyway, all of the characters in Toast of London have just bonkers names. Matt Berry's character is Stephen Toast. His nemesis is Ray Purchase. There's and so his Toast's manager Jane Pluff, but it's spelled Plow. She's got pictures in her office of like all of the actors that she represents, and they've all just got like just names that aren't whatever. But Verona Tragedy, that would be like one of the actors that Jane would represent. So Verona Tragedy, if you are a Toast character, that's even cooler. But let's stop yammering, and I'm going to answer your question. It's a short list. I've only been to, not even a handful. In recent history is when I've done the most international travel, actually, like within the last 2 years. I've been to Chile, and that was great. I've been to Paris, France, which I think about daily. And most recently, I went to Korea, and I was in Seoul, Korea, and Incheon, Korea. I was in Japan for a couple of hours just in the airport. So that doesn't really count. But when I was booking my flight back from Korea, I thought, I could do like a little layover in Japan and, get the stamp. And I forgot about this, but you don't get stamps anymore. You get stickers. And they're not fun stickers. They're just stickers. It's not like it's like, why not? I mean, you still have to do something to the passport. Stickers, that creates more inventory, right? Why not just have the stamp? So, I was only in the Japanese airport for a couple of hours, and it was one of those, you have the layover, and I thought, I'll be there for 2 hours. I can just walk around the airport. I'm sure it's gonna be bonkers and really cool. And unfortunately, like my flight was slightly delayed. So, and then I got to my gate, and that was just before or just as that whole CrowdStrike internet outage was happening. So our flight was delayed. There was no flight plan, and they kind of, we had to kind of stick by the gate because there was like, we don't know if we're going to take off, and we're going to know if we're going to board in like 10 minutes or 10 hours. So don't go anywhere. And it was kind of in a part of the airport where there weren't much as far as like, shops and whatever. So that was kind of a bummer, but Paris, France is definitely my favorite. It's my favorite place on earth currently. Has been since I visited. What do I like about it? And this? I don't want to sound like just basic bitch stuff, but like I really felt like I belonged there, which was a strange. I knew we would have a good time, but it was. I really felt like I belonged there, and nobody likes to, if you're having a great vacation, it's always a bummer when you go home. That feeling of leaving hasn't left me too. It was a huge bummer. My parents speak French, and when my parents divorced, I was very small, and when my dad, I do like this story. It's just because it's funny. My dad, I think, my dad used to use this to try and pick up to meet ladies, and his angle, was this is so dumb, but it's great. It is for people to think we were French, and I don't have a whole ton of memories from early childhood, but one of them is I remember walking around the mall or like a store, or if we'd be out in public, walking around like holding my dad's hand and walking around, and he'd be speaking French to us, and we obviously didn't speak French, but we knew that when he squeezed our hands, we would look up and go, "Oui, papa," and so that is brilliant. Just awful, but also just hilarious. So there was that. And when we got into high school, like my older sister, she's 3 years older than me. We went to the same high school. When I was my first year of high school, she was a senior, and we both took French. We had the same French teacher, and we actually sat in the same desk. Not at the same time, of course, because that would be awkward and weird. But she would leave my sister would like leave notes for me like in the desk, which I thought was really sweet. It's kind of interesting, like the whole like older sibling, younger sibling dynamic. My sister and I were kind of like cats and dogs for most of our lives, but like my first day of high school, a switch flipped, and we got along really, really great. And I remember on my first day of high school, like she would get a ride with her friends, and she like invited me. She like gave me a ride with her friends, and that's like really sweet. Why would you do that? It was just really sweet. So we took French in high school, and there was it was always kind of like an interest. And then I got there, and I mean, there's a big figure in French history is the Duke de Sully, so like kind of fit right in. But yeah, I absolutely love Paris, France. This morning, Mrs. Sully and I were talking about we want to visit Portugal, the country, not the man, but nothing against Portugal, the man. So one of the things that we like to do, because we like to party, is we watch we'll watch on YouTube the like walkthroughs of just cities, just to kind of have some ambiance or whatever. Just kind of have something on. Sometimes we usually watch. There's a couple of Parisian walkthroughs, and what trips me out is that sometimes they're walking through where we stayed, and I'll recognize places, and I'm like, that's and if you go down the street, oh, they were going down the street, turn left, oh, there's that. And, we've seen the hotel we stayed in quite a few times. And, yeah, so that doesn't really help me wanting to, well, not wanting to, but that, when I said earlier that I think about, France daily since we visited, which was a year and a half ago. That's true, like daily. So yeah, I totally would 1,000% live there. Yeah, yeah. But we're the next on the list, I think, is Portugal. So we're gonna kind of watch, kind of look for some places to go to and that sort of thing, and see what we can see. I think that we want to go in like off season kind of thing, save a little dough, and like the weather is pretty great there year round. So I don't think I think it gives you a little bit more freedom. So that's cool. Thank you for asking, Verona Tragedy. I think I love that. That's fantastic. Hot pizza, Hot Terry's pizza, old Chicago recipe. So let's talk about that. Being from that area, uh, a lot of I understand people get real shitty about Chicago deep dish pizza. It's like a lasagna. It's a casserole. Eat my ass. Just right there. Just get right in there. Um, I understand that it's not for everyone. It's not a fucking casserole. But I will say that a lot of the what's considered Chicago food is heavy. And it's kind of on purpose because the weather isn't great. And it's kind of like a lot of it came up in, maybe Depression era or whatever. And, there wasn't a whole lot. So you take this and it'll last with you for a while. Most people in Chicago don't eat Chicago deep dish pizza all the time. It's like that's a once every couple of months kind of thing. The real, I'm not gonna say it's a hidden gem because it's a stupid thing, even though I just said it's a hidden gem, is Chicago style thin crust, party cut in squares, also known as tavern style. That's what you're looking for. So I'm interested, John. What the old Chicago recipe? What that's like? Is it the thick crust, thin crust? I will say, like, if you need like a frozen kind of thing, home run in is Chicago pizza, and it's thin crust. It's not too bad. Anyway, do some streams with your wife. We can chat. That could be a thing. I don't know. Not on this channel, but you never know. Mrs. Sully is a very interesting person. She's had a very interesting life. So yeah. I mean, I think she still has an interesting life. It's not over. She's just in there. Not that's the closet. She's not in there. She's in the other room doing that. Stu, greetings to Wisconsin. Yes, ha ha ha. I think that's maybe in response to Toast of London. Dustin, well, thank you for ordering it. I apologize for the delay. Came from Romeo and Juliet. Okay. Oh, because it's a tragedy. Yes. I do like but I do like that as a Toast character. Yes, Matt Berry was in the IT. Is it the IT Crowd? I haven't watched that yet, which I probably should because it's also got Richard Ayoade in there, who I think is also hilarious. I wish there were more episodes of his travel show called Travel Man. I like that one. That's a good one. Oh, you haven't seen Toast of London? Well, if you like Matt Berry, seek it out. You can probably find it on like Netflix, or I know you can probably find some of it on YouTube. If you like British humor, if you don't like British humor, you're not gonna like it. Good day to Southern Wisconsin. We've got Wisconsin really checking in strong, and that's cool. I have some great memories of. I was born in Milwaukee. My mom's side of the family is from Milwaukee, and we used to go up to my grandparents a lot during the summer. Go to Summerfest, and that's when like all of the concert stages were free, and you could just kind of walk through the whole thing. And I remember one summer I saw Weird Al Yankovic. That was on the In 3D tour, so that was like with Eat It and all of that. Like a Surgeon, Nature Trail to Hell in 3D. Nature Trail from Hell. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so I saw Weird Al. I saw Yngwie. I remember Bon Jovi was touring there the 7800 Fahrenheit tour. I didn't see them, but like you could just you just walk and in the nights and these shows were going on, and so that was fun. Mr. DeCastro checking in. Love South Korea. I I would probably like to take another stab at visiting. Um, I think that because, like, I was kind of there for pretty much strictly business purposes. That was my main focus. Although, um, you know, I did walk around as much as I could when I could. But and I think you may have even told me that, like, the jet lag is just fucking brutal, and it really is. But anyway, let's see what else we got. Did I visit Jim Morrison's grave? I did not. I did not. But there's always time next time. Only been to 4. I prefer the stamp. See, Gene knows what's up. Stamp. I mean, yeah. Yep, that is true. No. No, I didn't really run into any of that. I don't, I don't think that people aren't super outgoing. I think people are a little bit more formal. People are a little bit more reserved there. We kind of ran into like some scammer attempts when we were walking up Sacré-Cœur, but that was really it. Yeah. Yep. Rodrigo, hello to you. All right, maybe you know my dad. Yeah, that's great. Leo from England. I'm thinking of getting a Soldano SLO Mini or a decent FR speaker. I don't know what FRF, like a for real. I see you have a Soldano in the corner. You obviously rate them. Yeah, that's a Soldano Astro 20. That thing rules. Yes. No, I'm out of coffee. Yeah, and it's I don't drink anymore, so there is that. You had 3 years of French. Nice. I am on I had 2 in high school. High school wasn't really. I didn't stick around very long, so I had 2. Almost 3 years. I forgot a lot of it, but it's a lot of seed planting. So yeah, your real last name is Tragedy, as far as I'm concerned. That's yeah. Spain was Morocco, Tangier. All right. So I think Verona Tragedy, you should be a travel consultant. There you go. Deep dish rocks, thin crust rocks. Don't slice it like a psych. You thin crust, you cut party style. That's it. I went to Chicago just to eat deep dish and visit the art museum. Yeah, the art museum is amazing. My mom's good. Yeah, she's cool. She's in Colorado, and they're getting a whole shitload of snow, and she sends me photos. She sent me some pictures of it yesterday. Terry Algers brought the recipe from Chicago in the early 60s. Oh, okay. Nice. Yes, please. I don't have any with me today. I was when I woke up this morning. One of the normal things that I go, okay, we're gonna get into this in a second. What was I saying? What was I going to talk about? Oh, croissant. Usually either Saturday morning or Sunday morning, I will go to the little bakery down the street and get pain au chocolat. And That's really nice. I woke up this morning and I was just fucking dead. So like I couldn't even. I was unable to even because it's like one of those things like just go in the morning, um, and I did not. So I am toast for real, full range. It'll always be for real. But yeah, so that's Astro 20, and it's got a little 112 cabinet. I think it's bitching. I don't know what the prices are on the mini SLOs, but I'm not. I'm definitely not a amp demo guy, but the good news is I'm pretty sure that there are many demos of that stuff out there. So that's cool. Deep dish is a bowl of tomato sauce. So it's really just crushed tomatoes. It's not tomato sauce. So that's all I'm saying there. Full response, flat response, full range. See, I don't even know what that means. Let's just call it, it's just an amp. Full response. No, flat response, full range. Is it cage free? Is it cruelty free? Cruelty free. Nobody knows. I guess the cruelty free depends on how good you are of a player, and the cruelty, for the people around. That's my joke about that. We had, let's see, some people had some questions. I did a little, Facebook post. I'm like, hey, I need a topic. What do you want me to talk about? Let's see if we have. Let's see if we have. We'll see what we got. Maybe gluten free as well. Well, that would be good. CJ Rogers asks, mustache wax. Is it ethical? I have no idea. Are Floyd Rose upgrades hype, or do they actually make a difference in your tone? Let's copy that here. Let's just bring that over into here for a minute. Bring that over. Oh, wait, how did I do this before? I don't know. It's fine. The whole Floyd upgrade things, I don't know. Well, I will say this. Years and years and years and years and years ago, when like the brass blocks thing were a thing, were a new thing, I didn't really pay much attention to it. Somebody offered to make me one, and so I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And I put it in a guitar that wasn't particularly acoustically resonant, and it did make a difference. As far as all of the other stuff goes, I don't know. I'm not really. I'm way too busy to like compare that stuff, because I'm just gonna make the thing, and like, this is what you ordered. These are the parts that we're willing to use for it. I know that comes out. These ingredients make a good thing, so it's gonna be fine. I'm not that person. Maybe I should be. I don't know. I should probably be a lot of things. Like retired, for one. I should be retired. Flat response means the frequency range is even without any color, making it suitable for use with modelers. All right. Instead of traditional guitar speakers that have certain EQ, a much wider frequency. Oh, okay. See, this is definitely stuff that like I don't think about. There are some things that I'm thinking about. Not necessarily new models, but iterations of current models. course, I'm not going to talk about that because number one, I haven't made the thing, and well, I think just number one because I haven't made the thing. We rolled out the next conspiracy series batch, the fall collection, if you will, and those that went out to the people on the mailing list, because people that are on the mailing list gets first crack at things, and it will go out to the public, in a few days. Each of those guitars are spins on things, or I don't want to say an evolution of something, because it's like, Henning uses this example, Fender talks about, our all new whatever, and it's just, we made it red. I'm not reinventing wheels. I'm just trying to make wheels that are pretty. So I hate to say like, we're really pushing the let's be real. We're not. Unless we're pushing the envelope of being fancy. And I'm not even doing that. But there are a couple of things. Like there is something like within the last couple of weeks I've thought about that was like definitely I'm not going to do that with this model. And no, it's never going to be the disgusting vibrato thing that we all know that I hate so much. That will never happen. But so there was just like an iteration of something that I'm just kind of thinking of, like, I'm like, well, maybe it wouldn't be so awful if I did it this way. And I started the drawings for it. We're not at the point where we can like make the thing, because we've got a lot going on. We had a build class this past week. I've got no class this week, and then a class next week, and I still have woodwork to do for NAMM guitars. So while some of the guitars at NAMM will have little changes to them, not necessarily finish related. These things that I'm kind of thinking about. I don't have time to. I don't think I have time to make it be a thing. Yeah. And then as far as like the conspiracy series goes, I hate to be the person that's like, oh man, big things are coming. But there's going to be some neat stuff happening with that. That's all I can really, that's all I really want to say about it at the moment. Don't know. I don't get into the tonal stuff. I just don't. It either sounds good or it doesn't, And I think that like we're in a world where like you can get something to sound like anything. And like, if you've got a guitar that doesn't particularly sound great, you can do a lot with swapping the pickups. Certain pickups will just make things come alive. It just, you just find the right ingredients, it's just, yeah, I mean, I can say that, I've made, let's see, there's a Raven that I made completely out of basswood, neck, body, not the fretboard, but the neck and body are basswood, and that thing is really light, which is cool. And it's a really big, Ravens are really big guitars. So it's, if it was a smaller body, it would probably be in like the 5 pound range. And there's the Comet, the Ace Frehley like lightning bolt guitar that I made for NAMM as a goof years ago. That thing is under 6 pounds. They both sound, the thing sounds fine. I don't. I think people get like way too into the whole tone thing, especially with electric guitars. Just because, like I said, there are so many things you can swap on an electric guitar to change how it sounds. And then there's the whole other thing of like, you can make 2 guitars in some cases from the same boards, and they may sound, they're gonna have some different characteristics. And it's just like, I am not, I'm a big picture person. It either sounds really good or it doesn't. I don't hear the, oh, well, this one is a little more pushy, the mid, just stuff like that. And I'm not like, there are people that are like that, and there are people that hear that or believe they hear that, and that's totally cool. I'm just not that person. So I don't, it's not something that I can really give any space to. I can say that some guitars can be, I remember I had, when I was a teenager, I had this guitar that was, it was a 61, a 61 melody maker, single cut melody maker. And it had a big ass thick neck. But it had like, the body was thin and the guitar was really, really, really light. And I felt like I was going to break it. I wound up selling it. I traded it in for a BC Rich snakeskin ST3 with a Floyd. And liked that guitar better. But so, there can be, things can be like too light to where it doesn't. Yeah, I think you need to feel like you've got a thing. But things can be too light. I know I've heard people describe like when, they put a Raven on, like, it's like, I feel like I kind of like almost I've got a shield. Not that it's like a big heavy boat anchor, but it's like you've just got this thing. I think it needs to feel like you've got a thing, but that thing also needs to get out of the way. So there's that. Spoilers. Supernova. Oh, good. Still balances. Well, good. Thank you. I'm glad that you were enjoying it. I am glad you are enjoying that. But Michael, that you're just referring to an Alita. It's not really. I mean, it's as much of an explorer style. It's, everybody's got one, and I think there's a certain amount of changes that people make to it, and I just did the same thing. Yeah. Good morning, Chris. Chris was in our class that we had this past week. One of the things that was really cool about the class is that both people had, Chris had like his own body shape, and that was pretty cool. And John had kind of a spin on a telly that he had an idea that he wanted to do, and then I kind of took that and. It's like, well, here's, the original footprint. Here's what you kind of had in mind. And here's kind of like maybe my version of that sort of thing. And so, so that was cool. We had a good time. And that's what you want to have, right? Want to have a good time. Here for a good time, not for a long time. I need to make more coffee. Let's see if we had any more questions from the Facebook page. Stike asked me, salmon and quinoa, stud or dud? That was a joke. Mrs. Sully and I went to see Kyle Kinane last night at the Addison Improv. I'm not really a going out person, especially after this week. I was kind of exhausted. but we went. Glad we did. Um, got to chat with Kyle a little bit, and it's fun because he's from suburban Chicago, and as am I, so kind of talk about that a little bit, and that's fun. And his set was hilarious. He was just great, and he always, I've never seen him live, but I've watched his specials and listened to his records. And if you're unfamiliar with Kyle Kinane, um, and if you like things that are funny, especially when it comes to comedy, he's worth checking out. Kyle Kinane, Kinane. Yeah. Time to start the rest of the day. All right, man. Cheers to you. Let's see. One of the things that I like about the end of daylight saving time is I wake up easier. And which is good because, this past week with the class, classes go from like 10 to 4 usually. But I get up really early and I get in, well before then, so I can check on the previous day's progress, see if there are things I need to address, see if there are things I need to set up for the day's progress, prepare for your day. One of the things that I like about, over the years, I've discovered that I really enjoy the space between things. Like, for an example, I am one of those people that likes to get to the airport like earlier than you need to, just because I don't want to have to worry about shit. And yeah, if that means I'm sitting at my gate like an hour and a half or maybe a little bit longer, I don't think I'm crazy about it. But there's I don't want to be rushed. I just don't. I don't enjoy. Nobody enjoys being stressed out. I don't think I handle it particularly well. I'm not particularly a joy to be around, which I'm sure that's very shocking to you. But it's true. And when I get stressed out, I get real short, which is tough because I'm not a short person. But I enjoy having a moment before, you start your day. Like at NAM, I like to get there. Show usually starts at 10. I like to get there around like 8:30, and it's just quiet. I can have some coffee. I can just maybe walk around a little bit, say hi to some people if they're there, use inside voices before things get nuts. And then things get nuts, and caffeinated Sully comes out, and then we go. But it's the same kind of thing with classes. I like to get there because if there's stuff that I can work on, it's good to do. And yeah. So, but this week, so I woke up this morning. I'm just like, whoa, I'm toast. But we have a lot to get through at the shop this week. We've got a lot of guitars to finish. We've got guitars to ship. We've got woodwork to do, and too much that we have more to do than we have time for. So we're just gonna do our best, right? Right. Yes. So Stykes nudged me to go see Kyle Kinane. That was good, and I appreciate that very much. So, that is kind of caffeinated celery. I like it. Caffeinated celery. That's good. That could be like a thing I could get into. It would be like no calorie. I guess negative calorie. It would be a negative calorie caffeine delivery vehicle. Yeah, that could work, right? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Does anybody have any questions for me over here? Because yeah, I'm out. I am kind of interested to see what this next year is going to look, well, the next 6 months really is going to look like, because like, the lease on my shop is up at the end of April, and like the property has been sold now twice since I've been there, and the last time it was sold, my rent went so up. I hope I don't have to move, but like, there's a part of me that wants to move somewhere else, um, and kind of, like the location that we have, it's plenty of space. It's not organized very well, but that's my fault because I'm, a hurricane. Um, but I would love to have like a mixed use space where maybe there's like some actual offices, and then like the warehouse, or like the workshop area can be like sealed off, so not everything is covered in dust. Um, and the where the shop is located, it's in, there's steel buildings, and the complex where we are, it's not paved, it's all gravel, so like all of that gravel dust gets in, and it gets everywhere. um, so I would love it if there was somewhere affordable, paved, and maybe like has more offices, because like there was this one place that I found, because there was the point where when I was going to renew my lease for this last one, I kind of like agreed to it a little bit before I should have, or before I really needed to, and couldn't get out of it. But there was this place that I found that was like exactly that. I had like room for a showroom. It was in like the workshop area. It wasn't as well lit as where I'm at now, but it's workable. And but the workshop was air conditioned, and that is huge, because where we are, the workshop is not air conditioned. So yes, when it is 100 degrees or more outside, it is 100 degrees or more inside, and that's tough. Um, but so I would, it would be nice to have, something, the next step, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, yeah. Sully's country bunker. We got both kinds. That's right. See, we got some Blues Brothers here. For many years, I used to watch the Blues Brothers when we would decorate our Christmas tree. I don't know why. Yeah. So we may also have to shut the custom order books for a while, because there's a lot that I got to get through, and with it's like it's super manageable, but like if we're going to be moving and all that stuff, I want to try and get as much done before we have to do that sort of thing, because like I know that, okay, so we'll have NAM in January, we'll get back, and like February is going to go like in a blink, and then I know that I've got at least one class happening in March, and then this doesn't seem like much, but it is, and or at least it is for me. And then so we'll have that class in March, and then April, we may need to be like packing and stuff like that. Hmm. That's all I can say about that. But yeah, so I think that it's just a lot. Well, I think there's just unknowns all the time. We live, crystal ball is in the shop, right? Um, Crystal ball would also be a good drag name, right? Maybe? No? Okay, I'll stick with anaphylaxis. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just a lot. I'm thinking about a lot. thinking about a lot, business wise, non business wise, what we want to do. I don't know, introspective. That's right. Sully's introspective, Sully. Yeah. So we're winding down. We've got, I don't know, about 8 minutes before this thing's going to shut itself down. It's awfully nice of you to watch these things because I don't really know how entertaining these things are. I mean, I guess it's really just like the equivalent of a podcast, a one person rambly, most of the time over caffeinated podcast. But I do really appreciate the interaction that we get to have on these things. And, you know, I like the way that, you know, these things used to get a whole lot more reach when it was new. You know, when live streaming and stuff like that on various social platforms was a new thing, and, you know, they want to push that, and now it's, you know, whatever, it's on something else. But I do really appreciate these things. And I thank you for watching them and participating. That's the thing. We do like nice things, right? Yeah, we like nice things. We like to finish up nice things, especially this week. So maybe a guy like Sean would be excited to hear that, or maybe a guy like John would be excited to hear that. Yeah, you know, I like that we're doing like these little mini runs where, you know, I know that people would like to have more options, and to that I'm just gonna say, hang on, just hold on, because reasons. But I do like kind of making these little quick hits because it does kind of. It's not like I was gonna say, it keeps me on my toes. I don't need to be kept on my toes. Like, I'm on point shoes. And so, but it does kind of, you know, it gives you more stuff to look forward to. Granted, there are plenty of things in life to look forward to, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, bright, shiny objects are fun. So, yeah. Precisely. What else? I would like to make these things I would like to make these things better. I probably should make them shorter. I probably should make them more organized. I should probably have them be specific topics that maybe people want me to address. I should do a lot of things. One of the things that I really need to do is I need to go through these mix them. This is a 5.5 by 8.5 catalog, but this is a 5.5 by 8.5 booklet. They are the same size. This is a different paper, but like essentially these two things are the same. So like, why is this a booklet? Why is this a catalog? Is it because this has they both have 16 sides. They're different. Like the cover paper material, the finishing is different. Like this one is gloss laminate, whereas this one is not uncoated. It has a nice feel to it, like the paper. 120 pounds. Okay, so like the cover paper on this one is thinner. This one is like cardstock. The reason why I'm looking at these things is twofold. What? I need to, you know, one of the things we're doing for now is I want to print a catalog. I know catalogs are dead. People like getting shit. Tchotchkes are fun. Look, you may not buy a guitar, but like I got like 27 shirts. I got coffee mugs. I got ways to try and hook you. So I want to make some sort of handout because we only have so many guitars that we can have at NAMM. And well, I want to, I want things to be better, because I know this is a rambly thing. Like, this is like the old podcast I used to do, except for the fact that I'm not drunk and I'm by myself. But so I want to make some sort of booklet that we'll have at the stand. But also I really want to make the goddamn magazine. I really, really do. And I know that it is just a matter of, like, you have to say, okay, this is the week that I'm going to do it. So maybe, like, I don't know, maybe Thanksgiving week, maybe we'll be off a couple days. I know at the end of the year, we usually shut things down. Maybe I can dedicate time to make, if I could just make the template, and then I can just drag and drop shit in there, because, like, I think it would be fun. Yes, it's a vanity project, but Jesus, so is having this company. The only thing that's, it's nice that, others benefit from it. So that's good, but, kind of a vanity project. But I think it would be really cool to have, like, a magazine, even if it's just quarterly. Like, we can, like, at the beginning of the year, it would have, like, all of the customs that we finished in the year previous, or, like, some of, like, the standout customs. Maybe we'll have, like, a blog post about, like, some of the more interesting builds, or, like, maybe we'll have, little artist spotlights. Maybe we'll have a little, customer photos, like, show us a picture of your collection. We'll post it, or we'll fucking print it. And, there are companies, and I think, like, Mixum is one of them, like, where you can do, like, magazines on demand. So, like, if that means I don't have to have a whole bunch of inventory, that's good. And if you can just order them and they're sent directly to you, and it's a reasonable amount, and it is, 1,000% is, that's fun, right? Maybe, I don't know. But that's something that I've wanted to do for at least a year and a half. One of, some of and it's nice when you can finally check some of these things off of the list. One of the guitars that we're going to have at NAMM is one of those list checking things. And, it's probably going to be something that nobody's going to buy. And it's going to be something that's going to live in a case. And I'm going to go, man, this thing is so fucking cool. And I need to, whatever, stuff we had at NAMM last year. Some really great stuff living in the closet. Maybe yours shouldn't be so fucking expensive. Maybe. Probably. I don't know. It's hard to figure out what people will buy. So anyway, I need to make time for this, because it would be great. Keep a running. This is good. I do something like this. I try at the beginning of each year to have, like, what I call an everything list, where it's just stuff like this. It does help. And it can, you can figure out what's actionable and, stuff like that. So that's a great, that is great feedback, Michael. Appreciate that. Good. But yeah, it's definitely something that I've wanted to do kind of forever, because I remember being a young Sully, getting magazines all the time, cutting them out, hanging them up on my walls, buying 3, 1 to keep. Maybe you get a nice picture on one side, a nice picture on the other side of the page. You need 2. That's it. I hope you have a great day. You look fantastic, but you always do. Everybody knows that. You know that. So be nice to everybody.